Hello and welcome to a BWB bonus stream. It's Tuesday, which means I'm not building model kits, but I am hanging out with all of you. And I'm throwing the barricade, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. You could be a lurker if you just want to lurk. Hold on one second. I'm going to take my headphones off. Okay. There was a loud noise. It was a very loud, like, hum, and I was like, through the headphones, like, I was like, is that my computer, like, spinning up the fans on my computer? Or, because my desktop is, like, right down here, like, right over here. Thank you for the follow, a sad fat man. Appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. I was like, is that my computer monitor, or is computer fan spinning up, or is it something from outside? It sounds like, actually, that it's something from outside. I was confused for a second. What's going on, Pat? You're not playing WWE 2K24 CPU versus CPU matches like you said you were. Like you promoted you were going to do today. And that's on the WWE slash 2K, and it's also on me. It is a joint thing. So when I first started streaming WWE games, CPU versus CPU, I was doing WWE 2K22. And that's the first time when I started streaming those games. And I used to run the matches off stream. I would do the matchups. Why must you turn this place into a house of lies? Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunately the truth of it. I promoted that I was going to do WWE, and I'm not. So I used to run them because, like, 2K22 crashed a bunch. And for me anyway, so I ran the matches off stream and recorded them and then presented them and did a commentary over them. And sometime around 2K23, I stopped doing that and I would just do it live because 2K23 was more stable and it allowed an element of somebody would make a suggestion of like a match type and I'd be like, ooh, that's very fun. We'll do that. Or somebody would be like, oh, they should have a manager. And I'd be like, yes, they should have a manager. And I could include that. So yesterday, I downloaded a bunch of creator wrestlers. I built the card, on paper. I wrote down everything that I wanted to happen, who I wanted to be involved, checked with my new creator wrestlers, made sure everything was looking good, make sure the game was up to date. No problem. Today, at like noon, I went to go play something else on Steam and realized, this is one of the Tuesdays where a patch gets downloaded for WWE 2K24. And that, it was still patching about half an hour ago. About 45 minutes ago, I would say, we were still at 80-something% patch because the game is large, and a thing that WWE 2K games do is when you're patching it, you're downloading the whole game again, basically. And then they have to make sense of the version that you got. And then they have to do some other stuff. And then when you open the game for the first time after doing all that, it has to update your save files and do all kinds of other stuff and check with the cloud, and it's this whole process, and it's very slow, and there's no good way to optimize it. You just have to hope that you can get it done before you want to play the game. So if I had recorded matches yesterday and ran all the matches yesterday and recorded them, I would have been fine. But because I wanted to do it live, I'm not fine. So we're going to play Hearthstone instead. All of that to say, we're going to play Hearthstone tonight. And then next Tuesday, I'll play WWE 2K24 because I'll have a week to patch it. And generally, if they do a hotfix patch, it usually isn't a week later. So if something gets broken because of this patch, basically this patch is making up for the month, almost a month, that they have had an issue with the last patch. And also, there's DLC coming soon, so it's the preemptive. I even looked at the June DLC, and there's another DLC coming, but I don't really particularly care about that new DLC because it's Pat McAfee and his friends from his podcast, and I kind of don't care about his friends from his podcast. I'm sure they're great. I just don't have a particular interest in them as wrestlers. Pat McAfee has wrestled for the WWE before. I was supposed to say is a wrestler. He has wrestled. So what are we doing tonight? Let's go over to the game feed here. We are checking out Hearthstone. There's been a new expansion. The new expansion came out today. I am going to look up the name because I've already forgotten it. Here it is. It's, what is it? In Peril? It's something in Peril. Perils in Paradise. I don't know why I can't ever remember that. Perils in Paradise is the latest Hearthstone expansion. So, Pat, with the new expansion literally coming out today, why weren't you going to check this out tonight? Why was this your backup plan? Why were you going to wait a whole week? And the answer to that is so I can kind of like get a sense of what's going on in the game. Not necessarily the meta, because I personally don't follow the meta, but I want to see what decks are being happened. Like, there's theory crafting. There are creators who are out there kind of putting together decks, but I play a lot of games of Wild, and a lot of those theory crafting streams, they don't get to. No, they're not also alliterative. Not all of them. This one is, though. Because they were playing games in Standard, and you can't use every card in the game in Standard, that's for Wild. So there were some decks that just people haven't really put out there. But now, for the next week, there are going to be a bunch of cool decks that I will check out. So I have one brand new deck that only works because of the new cards. And I have updated previous decks of mine with some new cards to see what's up. And that's what we're going to look at tonight. So we're going to look at the decks that have new cards in them. So we won't be checking out Dragon OTK, because this deck, while still fucking bullshit and cool, even with the nerf that they gave, where now you have to have 8, you have to play 8 dragons, summon 8 dragons, not play, summon 8 dragons, but now instead it used to be summon 5 dragons. So that's how they nerfed this deck. It's still very good. This deck has no new cards because there are no new priest cards or regular cards that make this deck better. So there are no cards in here. We won't be playing this tonight. This is still one of my go-to decks because it fucking sucks. It turns out that playing an extra turn, getting an extra turn, means you can win. Not all the time, but it's pretty easy to win if you've buffed this card. You have a lot of health, and then you swap the health and the attack, and then you end your turn, and suddenly you're like, I don't know, 7-9, keeps doubling its health, and then switches its health, and then you can one-shot. This deck's pretty good. But we won't be playing that tonight, but it is good. The Smoke has no new cards. This is one of my go-to decks. This is if you have not watched me stream Hearthstone before, then you may be unfamiliar with the phrase that or the term I'm going to use, which is scam. A scam deck. A scam deck does ridiculous things and lets you win. You scam your way to victory. But here's the thing about a scam deck. It's not like 100% or like 70% or 60% or 50%. If the very specific things you need to do don't happen, you lose. So this is a scam deck. The idea is that on turn 4, you play Swiftscale Trickster, which means the next spell you play this turn costs 0. Then on turn 4, you're playing an 8-cost spell, Smokescreen, which draws 5 cards and triggers Death Rattles. Most of my deck is expensive Death Rattle decks, or Death Rattle cards that do a lot of damage or make a giant minion on the board and just do cool bullshit. So you're activating that, then you're filling your hand, and then as a follow-up, you can play Anka, which turns all your Death Rattles into 1/1s, so you can you empty your hand out, and then later you can play the other Smokescreen. Or Anka can kind of be your get out of jail free card, where you can play that again, and you can play that instead of, because you didn't draw a Trickster on turn 4 or by turn 4, and you don't have a Smokescreen. You've got Door of Shadow that either draws the other Door of Shadow or draws Smokescreen so that you can have it. But if you don't draw Trickster, and if you have a Trickster but you don't have a Smokescreen, this deck just loses. It's a scam, but it's a scam that backfires because scams don't always work. That's a scam deck. This is Big Shaman is also a scam deck. This is Big Shaman. is a scam deck because it's using various cards and abilities to cheat out big minions. It's less of a scam deck because it wins more, but it's still a scam deck because if you don't have Ancestors, well, sometimes Ancestors Call will pull a card from your opponent that's way too good and you fucked up. Eureka costs 6 mana, so it takes a while to play that. You might not draw your Muck Morpher. The things you have in the deck to pull the Muck Morpher might pull the other taunt you have in your deck, which is Beached Whale. Because playing Beached Whale for 7 mana sucks. Is a 4/10 still a good card? With taunt? Yeah, pretty much. Is it better if you can pull it out of your deck or pull it out of your hand and have a 4/20 blazing for and get yourself a blazed whale for free? Oh, hell yeah. This deck we'll be seeing tonight because I really enjoy playing it. This deck, there are no new cards in it because it doesn't need any new cards, but we're going to start it because I've been playing this deck since the last time I played Hearthstone on stream. This is not a scam deck. This is bullshit. The 3-turn OTK is fucking bullshit. It is a deck that just sucks to play against and kind of sucks to play. It sucks that I'm playing this deck, but when it works, you cackle a little. So, you want to play Nozdormu and give yourself 10 mana crystals. On turn 4, you play Nozdormu, you have 10 mana crystals. Your opponent also has 10 mana crystals, so it's a race against the clock. Then, on the next turn, you play Uther, the Ebon Blade. Uther, every time you play the hero power, you summon one of 4 2/2 horsemen. And if you have all 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, get it, on the board, then you win. It doesn't matter if your opponent had 1 health or 40 health or 400 health. You win. So how do you play? How do you win, Pat? Because that's over 4 turns. Like they're going to keep killing your 2/2s. Well, the turn after you play Uther, you play Call to Arms, which pulls 3 minions out of your deck. What are those 3 minions? Well, the 3 minions you want out of your deck are Garrison Commander. And you want 1 copy of, where is he? Sing Along Buddy. You don't need 3 minions, you need 2 minions, but you're going to pull 3. Sing Along Buddy means that your hero power triggers twice, which means for 2 mana, you can get 2 of the 4 horsemen. And Garrison Commander means that you can hit your hero power twice, when you normally only can hit it once. So you can hit your hero power twice, you play for 8 mana, you win. Now, Pat, but you have to be able to draw Nozdormu, Uther, and Call to Arms and have all of them. How do you do that? Well, unfortunately, for people who are playing against this deck, all you really need is Order in the Court, which reorders your deck from highest cost to lowest cost. When you play Order in the Court, you will draw Uther and either Call to Arms or Nozdormu after that. And if you have either of those in your hand, well, then you're going to draw the other ones. So this deck, I don't remember what my win rate with this deck is. Let's see. We'll go over here to my this is a Hearthstone deck tracker. It's the thing that when we play the game will tell me what cards I played and will tell me what my opponents played. Let's see. Let's search for 3 turn OTK. Oh, it did not show up. So let's do OTK. Nope, these are not showing up. Why are you not? No, let's try 3. Oh, that's Twist. That's right. I'm in Twist right now. That's why it's not working. We need to go to Wild, and let's look up 3. Win on turn 3. No, yeah, that's a different one. Dragon OTK, turn 3. It's not turn 3. All right. So why are you not showing up? Anyway, I don't know why I can't find this deck. Having never played Hearthstone before because I'm an MTG snob, this all sounds like word salad. Yes, I'll do my best. There are a lot of battle cry is a thing that when you play a card, a thing happens. Death rattle is when the card is destroyed, a thing happens. Battle cry and death rattle are the two most important things. You start with 1 mana. You get more mana as the game every turn. You get more mana. There are cards that let you get more mana faster and cheat out mana. There are cards that you play. You can't play a 7 cost unless you have 7 mana, unless you fuck with it. But that's a basic principle. Anyway, I can't find the stats on this one. I don't know why I can't find the stats on this one. But let me just tell you, the 3-turn OTK does a lot of wins a lot. And we're going to start with that one. The other deck we're going to play is Burgle. Burgle is the brand new deck. This is the deck that has new cards in it. What does Burgle fucking do? This Burgle deck lets you take cards from other classes and play them, often at a discount. And then you have a couple win conditions. You can play Tess on turn 7 and replay every card that is not a rogue card, because that's your class, is rogue. Unless you play this warlock card, which will then let you discover a different hero card, which is from another class. And if you play that card, you become another class. So then you'll play a bunch of rogue cards with Tess. And it's a wonderful, weird. This deck is probably going to be confusing for someone that doesn't play Hearthstone. Is it good? No. Is it really fun because it's so random and weird? 100%. This one is a very fun deck. Also, we have a card here to keep us alive, that a lifesteal, and if you play a card from another class, you get more durability and you can keep playing it. We're playing a greedy version of this deck. There's a version of this deck that plays around or plays for buffing up Cutlass. We're not doing that. We just have a Cutlass because it's nice to get some healing. We're just trying to get a bunch of nonsense and then play cards that do nonsense things. That's Burgle. And you know what? In fact, let's start with Burgle. Let's start with Burgle because let's do some standard Hearthstone. Start with our Burgle card, our Burgle deck. We do standard big is a deck that I've played before. That is a deck that is more scamish than not. Yeah, feel free to lurk. No problem at all. For folks that are hanging out, thank you for being here. I know this was not what was advertised. I also know that some people are not keen on Activision Blizzard games or watching them or playing them or owning them. And I totally understand that, and you do you. I have conceded that I just fucking kind of really like playing Hearthstone. I don't put money into Hearthstone anymore, but I am streaming it, so I theoretically could make a little money by playing this game in the form of subs and such. We are currently at 27 subs. The goal is to get to 40. If you want to become a subscriber, you can do that. Gift a sub, all that stuff. We kept Tess, which is not necessarily a good idea, but I just really want to play Tess with this deck. So I want to... I probably want to play this and then play it again and just get a bunch of nonsense. So we're going to play the creation here, which means that we're going to get a card from another class. None of these are great, except this is okay because it does deal damage and give us lifesteal, so that'll keep us alive. So we're going to keep that. And then we're going to play this again. We got to move a little faster because we're taking too long. And we'll do Farsight. That sounds good. So now we have some cards from another class, and then if we play Tess while we're still a rogue, we will play these from another class, which will be fun. Farsight, I think, would be probably good for this deck because there's a good, we got a good balance here. Get 2 random 1-cost spells from other classes, or discover a spell and get 2 copies of it. Let's get 2 copies of spells. That's too expensive. That feels... Discover a beast and undead, swap their stats. That's going to give us 2 cards. Yeah, all right. We'll do that. And then let's just get some damage in. I don't love these cards, but I don't hate these cards. We may play this on turn 3. We might react to some stuff because we have some life, if we need to get some life. Because our opponent is possibly a hand buff paladin. I have not seen a lot of decks in Standard right now from Paladin, but I believe that our opponent is probably a hand buff, and they're taking their time here, which is fine. Okay, no, so they are, at the very least, in their deck they have Excavate, which is a whole thing. And all right, they're gonna trade. Okay, so there's not a lot of damage to be done next turn from them, so we can kind of get some minions to play. I do like this as a new card, Treasure Hunter. Can't really do damage to it because of the Divine Shield. We can get some spells and probably play one of those spells. So let's do that. Okay, that's temporary. So that's good to have for stuff, but not right now. Let's discover a nature spell. Hell yeah. If and when we draw our Cutlass, we can buff our Cutlass and make it even stronger. We've got a really full hand, but not a lot of we don't have a lot of cards that you could just play on this next turn. So we're probably gonna have a full hand here. Okay, so our opponent seems to be doing a lot of bullshit that I don't like, which is okay, Shadow Step. I don't have a card to play there. So things are tough here. Consecration, we could play that to get rid of their Divine Shields and then follow that up with some more damage. We could try to play Farsight and see if something comes here. We could play that and maybe get a 1-cost. I think I want to get Consecrate. And at the very least, I can tell you that Consecrate will remove their Divine Shields so that next turn we can use some of our damage dealers and recover some health that we're going to lose here, because hopefully they won't be able to buff this thing. But I would like this card to go away because I don't want bombs in my deck. You don't have to play a lot of Hearthstone to know that getting 5 damage because you drew a card sucks. So yeah, so our opponent has a card that is just going to keep putting Divine Shields on things, which sucks. I was afraid they were going to use it again, and they did. Okay, so that costs less, so I can play that and play something else here. This isn't going to... I can't clear this thing yet because it's got Divine Shield. All right. I don't want that. Fine. Here's a beast. Costs nothing. And great. That has stats. So now this... Cool. Here's the thing. If I go and hit this, it doesn't matter. They're just going to put another Divine Shield on there. So I have something on the board. Not going great for us. But this means that I can break, with my weapon, I can break a Divine Shield and then play this. And that's at least a combo that helps me out a little bit. Because they had another one here. And they're going to, yeah. So no matter what, I'm getting 2 bombs in my deck on this turn. And I'm probably getting another bomb. Unless I can get some cheap shit to kill some things. But I don't know how I'm going to get that right now. Oh boy. We got a lot of bombs. Okay, so this is a deck I didn't recognize. This is apparently motherfucking bomb bullshit. And I did not recognize that that was a deck. All right, so we're going to kill this one here. And then we can deal 4 to it. And we get 4 health back. And then we can well, if we do that, we only get 4. So we lose out on divine, or sorry, on lifesteal by killing that or doing this, but we do get it off the board. We'll do that anyway. And if you're like, Pat, what happened? Why did a little thing pop up? A little thing popped up because I have a card in my deck that lets me play cards from other classes, which is a new mechanic. It basically allows me to play shaman cards, because that card I just played there is a shaman card. Okay, our opponent is doing some cool shit. We're not. It's okay. Not the end of the world. We're just not doing cool shit. That's not great now. We can play this and get a weapon, but that doesn't get through this. Can do that to deal some damage. I guess we should do that. Because now this cost 1. And that'll let me pull something out here. And that doesn't help me. And then this can go and do some damage, but it's not going to kill anything. That's not going to help me. I can do this. Make this cost 1. To make that cost 1. Which again, does not really help me. We'll do that. We're still taking 6. And then we'll just discover a card. That's kind of neat. We're gonna concede. This is not going well. Not really doing much with anything with this deck. Again, this one can be fun. It's just not right now. Not doing much. We're only silver rank here, so it's okay. Because I haven't really been playing a lot of standard. I'll show you my other standard deck, and then we're gonna jump to wild. But that is the only brand new deck I have because the expansion came out today. And theory crafting, I hadn't really found any cards. That's when people put together, there's some streamers that get access to the cards early through new accounts. They don't get them into their account. And they show off a bunch of decks they've kind of been planning. So, this deck, there are several cards that we want in our hands. This is at least gives us something to play on turn 2, so we're going to keep it. We want Kangor. Kangor would be great. If we could get Kangor, we didn't get Kangor. We do have a new card, which isn't necessarily great to play, but is okay. We're going to discover a weapon, and we're going to get one more durability and one more attack. It doesn't really matter. This is cheap, and we can play it. So yeah, it buffed it, which is nice. This card has Rush. After it attacks, it turns into a location. And then that location buffs a card and then turns it back into buffs a minion, then turns it back into a minion. And the health goes down when you use it. Rush would be nice if we knew that this gives your minions rush. We're going to play this just to have something on the board. In standard right now, the deck that people seem to like the most is a deck that is a hand buff deck. So that's what I would assume that our opponent has. We're going to use a weapon. We're going to kill that. So we have now effectively buffed our opponent's hand, but we're doing it early, hoping that they don't buff so out of control that we can't compete with them. We have a little bit of crowd control stuff in here because this is a mid-range deck. This is a control-y deck. We do have to get through a 5/5, which is rough for us. We could play this and do some damage and then take 5 damage to protect these. We could run them in. We are going to set up for this and do that. We are going to eat some damage here. When this dies, it pulls in a 1/1 that will die, that has charge, but will also die. So we'll just do that. So yeah, when this one dies, it gets a 1/1 ghoul with charge, but that dies at the end of the turn. So it can help clear a board. We did take some damage, but we do have a weapon that heals us. So we can play this into a big minion. Okay, now they have their minions have rush. So we can play this into a minion, and then we can also buff this minion if it lives, which it did. So we can play this. We are going to take 3 damage. We become a location. We can give this 3 attack, and it doesn't need rush, but 3 attack is good because then we can clear the board. It became a minion again. This could have also rushed into that minion. We could have given that 4 and attacked face and hit that, but I want to keep this on the board for a bit. Now this has 4 health because it did take damage and then was used location. But we can bring it back to life later with Tyre's Tears as a 2-2, which doesn't make it super effective as 2-2, but we can bring it back. We are just not drawing the cards I would like here. Let's be real. I would love to draw a minion of some sort because this is supposed to buff minions in my hand, but if it's not, it can't if it's not there. I can play a 1-1. After attacks, I can turn location and do 4 damage that way. So I can do this. I can do this, which then turns into that. Oh, and I gotta wait another turn. I forgot I gotta wait another turn, so that doesn't even help. I fucked that up. When in doubt, we're just gonna heal. We're gonna ignore and we're gonna heal. Also, because this is a because this is a location, that means that minion doesn't die. I do have to wait for this to open up, and I forgot about that, so you can't just bounce back and forth. All right. Our opponent has a bunch of bullshit on the board, and that sucks for us. We can clear the board, though. We are going to spend almost all our mana to clear the board. Except for the minion that's going to come up here. Which we then can't kill. And we don't have a minion to play this, so this is just stuck as location. And we're playing this just to heal up and do a little damage. But we are not, unfortunately, buffing minions, which is what you want to do with Painter's Virtue. But we are healing a bit and doing damage. And our opponent doesn't have much health right now, which is nice. They're going to have big minions. Yeah, they're going to keep having... God damn it. God damn it. Our opponent now has stuff. All right. Hey, it's a minion. We could buff this minion. I'm not going to worry about buffing this minion. I am just going to use this. Hit it with that. It's going to pull something out of our deck. Great. This is going to hit everything here. We are going to increase its attack just right off the bat. We're going to take this time, do some things here. We are going to kill this. Goodbye, my dear friend. And then we are going to kill a bunch of shit. They unfortunately still get 3 3s on the board. There's nothing I can do about that. These things just, if they get buffed, when they die, they get another one of them. So, right now they don't do anything, but they're just gonna, oh god. Our opponent's got a deck that someone really crafted and really worked well on, or hard on, and we don't have that. We can get rid of a bunch of bullshit, though. That's awesome. Get out of here. You can get rid of that. That gets rid of some bullshit here. And I can play this, which at least lets me get rid of that as well, because I can't rush things down. So, you know, not great, but it's not bad. Okay. This will only draw 1 minion from our deck that has, because we have 1 card that has 1 attack. But it will draw it if they kill this. And it is a minion with taunt that can do some bullshit. Okay, okay, good. They did. Great. Hell yeah, you got my Titan. You can't attack. You attacked in the wrong order. Now you got to attack this 1/8, which you can, but you can only do 2 damage at a time because it's a Titan. It died, but I'll bring it back next turn with my other card here. All right, so first, get rid of you. You can go to hell. You can die. Second, bring back all this shit. Awesome. Then, give our minions more damage. Then, give them rush. We should have also had a 1/1 that we gave rush and damage to. I fucked up. But that means I can play this for the next time. We will do this. Get rid of that. Let's do that. Get rid of that. Let's do that. Get rid of that. Then, if I do this, I'm going to give another card more attack and rush. But I'm doing that just so that I can also do this. There we go. That worked out pretty okay. We can now draw our other cards. We have other cards in our deck that only have 3 attack. We can draw one of those because it's only buffed up to 4. I feel like our opponent played like 3 of those. I know they didn't. They only played 1. And now they're going to get a bunch of cards they're going to clear out of our minions. They're going to think, well, he can't have any more cards to pull out of his deck. And he's wrong, because we do. He does have that card. Okay, so he was planning on it. He or she or they, we'll say. I don't know Imrain. But Imrain was probably not expecting. Was probably, yeah, had a thing. Okay, so we're going to lose. Because we don't have... Yeah, we don't have any way to win this. Our opponent can do 10 damage, and we have 11 health. But we'll let them. We'll let them do it. They don't have lethal on the board because we have 11 health. They have lethal, but they didn't have it on the board. They could have had 5 cards that couldn't do 1 damage to us because they had 8 showing and a hero power does 2 more. So we could have won that. We weren't going to win. We could have. We really needed to draw Kangor's Dancing King. Kangor is a 3/3 for 5 with lifesteal which has a death rattle. Swap for another minion in your hand and give that minion lifesteal. Which is why our deck has so many big motherfuckers. Is so that we can make those big motherfuckers have lifesteal and cheat about on the board. We're going to keep Waka Null because that gives us a weapon which we can use in the early game to survive. We now have a top end, so now we need Kangor. Or a card that can put Kangor into battle, like Lead Dancer. Or Lead Dancer. I don't know how you want to pronounce it. We don't have any secrets. That doesn't help us. But it means we could play next turn. We did get another weapon. We'll play Ceremonial Maul. Now it's a 3/3, so that's good. Lead Dancer or Anitus could be helpful for us to help us get Kangor. All right, our opponent here is going to be doing a lot of damage to themselves and then building a big zoo board. So we need to be control-y. We want to control the board. They have taken a ton of damage. Pat, you're saying to yourself, isn't that bad? Because then you can just go over the top and wreck shop. Yes and no. All of this damage that they are taking, they can also probably have cards in their deck that they can play because they have taken so much damage that are like 4/4s and 8/8s. And that's going to be bad for us. Yeah, because they already have quite the board. Okay, what else are you going to do? Like, I'm not going to concede just because you have uh, 10 damage on the board. So you can just end your turn. End your turn. There you go. End your turn. Okay, I could rush nothing because I don't have anything that can rush. I can, but I'm just going to play it just to get something out there. A location, unfortunately, does not count as a spell, so I don't get a taunt minion. And then all I can do is do some damage to prevent future damage. But we're in a bad spot here. Our opponent is going to rush us down. We theoretically could turn the tide. If we top deck Kangor, we can play Kangor, give it rush, run it into a minion, kill Kangor, and bring in one of the 8 drops that we have in our hands. One of which will help us clear the board, one of which will keep us alive, and one of which won't really help us too much. But that's if we top deck one card. Kangor would be great. Judge Unworthy would be okay. Consecration would be okay. We didn't get that. We got this, which is not okay. But let's get a 2/2 taunt, some cards, and then we're just going to kill some stuff. We're just going to kill some stuff. Could have played that and been able to run it in, but that's okay because we don't really need to. And we'll kill that there. So it's okay that we played this after we played that. This does mean that if we top deck Kangor, we can't rush it because we used it. We have to wait on locations until later, which is okay. We can play this and heal for 2, which is nice, and make these even bigger. All right. Yeah, and here we go. This was the thing that we were afraid of. Our opponent is playing some large minions because they've taken so much damage. And they just healed themselves and played a taunt. And they just did that too. And buffed our whole board. This is unfortunately, impossible for us to get through. There's just no way we can play this. Which again, does not solve the problem. Because it can only go here. And then it can only buff this. Which then can only go here. And then we moral victory. Did 2 damage to their face. And then we concede. Again, these are scam decks. This is a scam control deck. But it's still a scam deck. Since we have had 0 wins. We are going to swap over to Wild. We are going to play a deck that has no new cards in it. Has no new cards. I would like to get a win with this scam deck, and then I will jump into playing some games with new cards that are in Wild. Old decks with new cards. But this is a fairly newish deck with no new cards that came out today. Let's see. None of these are cards we need, so we're going to send them all back. We're going to full mulligan. And we're looking for... okay, we have 2 of our top ends. If we happen to draw Call of Arms, we can just play this and go. We don't need Order in the Court to get us the card we would want. We have some stalling cards. If we happen to draw Call of Arms, we can play this and just do it. We really need Call of Arms to play this. Called Arms, I should say. So we are heavily trying to get the cards we need. None of this is what we need, so we're just going to move on. If they fill the board with minions, we can get rid of most of the minions. We have a timeout if we need health. The problem is we kind of need to go, especially if we're giving them a bunch of mana, which we're going to give them a bunch of mana. So we kind of need Call to Arms. We can just do it to do it, but we kind of need Call to Arms to get the job done. We got Order in the Court, which means we can play that now. which means we're guaranteed to have it next turn. So we don't need the coin anymore. And we can slow them down because now their minions cost more. Good. So now we're just trying to delay a little bit because we have basically 3 turns. We win in 3 turns unless they beat us. Armor does not help them at all. They don't seem to know what my deck does. They should be drawing cards to complete their combo when they have 10 mana, which they will at some point have 10 mana. We're going to get a little healing when we play this. Also, we kind of need Nozdormu to die, but they have minions on the board, so Nozdormu should die. There's the card we need later. Okay, so how do we lose here? Our opponent scams us before we can scam them and does enough damage to beat us, or they leave this 8/8 alone, and our 8/8 doesn't die. If our 8/8 doesn't die, we don't have enough room for the 7 cards that we're going to have on the board. Because we want to play Call to Arms, and we want to do that. We do have this to swing. They have a 6/6 on the board, which means we can do some damage. Oh, well, 3/4 isn't going to help us. All right. So our opponent does have a wide board. We could delay a turn if we wanted to. We could delay a turn if we wanted to and destroy some minions. We are not going to delay because our opponent is, I think, trying to race us down, which they should be doing. They should be trying to race us down. So we're going to heal a little bit. We want this to take damage, so we're swinging into this, so it takes more damage, but then we're going to take less damage. And that way we're healing 5, and they do way less damage, hoping that we can still kill this, because we're going to draw 3 minions from our deck, and then we need room for 4 horsemen. So we need 7. So we can only put 7. So we can't have this 8/5 on the board anymore. But this will become a 6/6 after this turn. All right, our opponent is going to see 4 cards. They are going to see 3 cards. They are going to see a Call to Arms. They are going to pick Call to Arms, which we only have 1 copy of, and they are going to prevent us from winning. Unless they happen to see 2 Enter the Colosseums, which I don't think they can see. Well, maybe they're seeing 2 Enter the Colosseums and a timeout. But if they see one of these Call to Arms and they pick that Call to Arms, we lose. Because this is our win condition. Otherwise, we have to actually draw out the 2 of the cards, 2 drops that we have. And it'll be many turns. They pull the wrong card. Either they saw 2 Enter the Colosseums, or they don't know how this deck works, but they probably just threw the game for themselves. So maybe they saw 2, because I don't know. Discover card in each player's hand and swap them. Yeah, I think they see 3 cards. I don't know how that happened. But no matter what, either they fucked up or they got very unlucky. And they saw these 2 and 1 other. But either way, we win. So yeah, either they got really unlucky or they don't know this deck's win condition because they lost it for themselves. Either way, we got our first win of the stream. It's been almost an hour, probably more like 45 minutes of gameplay. But we got our first win on the stream. We're going to do this one more time. I'll get my confidence up, and then I'll show you some decks that have some new cards in them, as opposed to just this one, which has no new cards. But, as I said at the beginning of the stream, I did not play this deck the last time I streamed Hearthstone, so it is kind of new. All right, we'll try to get this going here. I'm also going to retweet my tweet. So maybe some people will come and hang out. Even get a few more friends to come hang out with us tonight. All right, none of these are the cards we need. So we're going to full hard mulligan here. We're looking for, really we want we want Order in the Court, which we got. So we got Order in the Court, which is the thing that we needed. So we can breathe a sigh of relief. We will play this on turn... No, we can play this now. I guess we'll play it on turn 2. What does this thing do? Oh, yeah, this is the amalgam that looks like a hippo. That's fun. All right, so our opponent is probably buffing this and then sending it to the board, and they might put like a taunt on it so that you constantly have a taunt that comes up and always brings up another taunt. I believe that is what this deck does. But right now it does 1 damage, so I'm not worried about it. We'll play this on 2, which will give us... okay, doing some damage here. All right. Gonna get some damage in. We do run into the problem, even though we have the card we need, we didn't get any of the other cards. So that means that we can do this, which means we now have Uther. We're guaranteed Uther. And next turn, we are guaranteed either Nozdormu or Call to Arms, which means on turn 4, we can play the other one. Unless they put something in our deck that messes the order. And there aren't a lot of decks that do that, but there are some decks that will shuffle our deck. And that will really screw us up. So we got Call to Arms, which means next turn, we will top deck Nozdormu and be able to play Nozdormu. But I'm going to grab this to give us some heal. But it's just nice to have. Now, we do run into a problem that this deck might not want to kill our 8/8 or be able to kill our 8/8, which would be a problem. But they haven't done a lot of damage to our face yet, which is nice. And we could heal a little bit once we play... 2 turns from now, we'll play Uther, and we do get ability to heal ourselves. So... but I am a little afraid that our opponent won't be able to stop our 8/8, and then we'll kind of be stuck. It's not the biggest problem in the world, but it's a little bit of a problem. All right, so now we can play this. We are now giving our opponent 10 mana, which is dangerous. We are now on the clock. We have 2 turns. In 2 turns, if the 8/8 dies, we win. Pretty good. Our opponent could also, I guess, put minions in our deck, because that is possible. And those minions would mean that our recruit, our Call to Arms, wouldn't work as well. They did play a big minion, and they are shuffling their deck. So theoretically, they're going to have the ability to kill this, or we can kill this 8/8, theoretically. We're going to try anyway to kill it. And we can heal ourselves a bit because we're going to get some armor, and also we can get some health because we'll go face. And then we'll kill this 6/5, and there will only be 1. Okay, great. And then we can kill this amalgam. Now, they haven't done anything to this amalgam yet. Or it could be the other amalgam, but whatever. They haven't done anything to the amalgam, so it's not worrisome yet. But it does mean in 2 turns, there's something on the board that we can kill that which is great. Because if they don't want to kill this, we can kill it. Because that is a stall condition. Because if I pull 3 cards here, and this is still there, then I don't have room for all my horsemen. So I guess the real win condition they could do is fill my board with minions, although I do have Enter the Colosseum to kind of counteract that. All right, our opponent has played secrets. Now, one of those secrets could be something that disrupts Call to Arms, but we can play around that with playing a spell that costs 2 mana, because we have 10 mana, we only need 8 mana. But we have 10 mana to play with, so theoretically, we'll be able to get around this issue and win. And again, win or lose, this is the last time we're looking at this deck, this unbelievable scam deck. So, first, we heal ourselves. Okay, great. Neither of these spells messes with, or secrets messes with spells. Then we can play this. All right, and now we... Oh, and they conceded. Okay, they conceded. yeah, the improved spells, the worst case scenario is when I hit the hero button, I was going to take face damage. Oh, cool. So good. We have our second win of the game, or the stream, and we looked at this fucking scam deck. This goddamn nightmare scam deck. So now let's check out some decks that are well, actually, I'm sorry. That's right. We're looking at scam decks because that's a bullshit deck. That deck is fucking bullshit. So now let's look at some scams. And let's see. Can I find the custom paladin? Is custom paladin the one? Board? No, that's not that one. No, that's the other one. I don't know why I can't find the deck. Okay, so Trickster we want. We are now looking for 4 cards. Door of Shadows. We got Smokescreen. We're good. On turn 4, we can play Swiftscale Trickster and Smokescreen. This is what the deck does. Now, does that mean the deck is even going to win? Because we have to get through 40 health and probably some armor? No. We're going to do the thing this deck is supposed to do, and we're even going to do the follow-up on turn 5. And we still could lose easily. Because this deck is fun and cool when it works, but it's not like a winner. It's just, we're going to play an 8-mana card because we played a 4-mana card, and that's fun. We'll take that off the board. Because sometimes I might even pull cards that don't really help me. Like, we got this that gives us armor. We already pulled one. We might not pull the other Colossus to give us a 7/7 with taunt. Like, there's a lot of stuff we can't do. Now, our opponent isn't really playing many cards right now because they're probably trying to piece together their combo or their late game. So, which is good because we haven't taken a lot of damage. Okay, what are you going to play? Got 4 health. What are you going to play? Okay. All right. Our opponent is playing this thing where they're cheating their mana a little slow, which is great. We drew a Smokescreen, which is awesome because it means later we can play it again, or it means that we don't draw it because we're just drawing 5 cards and playing and triggering death rattles. We're not only drawing death rattles. So let's see. Great. This gives us a random 8 drop. That's pretty good. This gives us 8 armor. That's pretty good. This restores our health. And now we have a low-cost card to play later. That's pretty good. This gives us an 8/8 with Rush. And this draws its pair. That is I would say, pretty good. We didn't really fill the board with minions. We didn't really need Cultist. Or we didn't need both Cultist and Forge Fiend. Having a 7/5 and an 8/8 for 4 mana is pretty fucking good. We've got this as a follow-up. We are going to burn a card. There's no way around it. We're going to burn 3 cards because our opponent is doing the smart play. So yeah, we're now going to burn a 3rd card. That's a bummer. But we can then play this. That's a fine card to burn. That's actually pretty great. And now, next turn, we can play a bunch of cards for very cheap and get their death rattles off. And then we can make our hand not many cards in our hand, which means that we can then also play this and not burn too many cards. Okay, yeah, our opponent is due process, sure. We're going to burn some more cards. Yeah, our opponent is playing a deck that I think fucking sucks and some people really love. And I think it's goddamn bullshit, but some people really love these kinds of decks where you're just out there to really fuck people over. And we don't have any more room. Play this, which just draws that. And that's a dead draw, so I can use some mana there. We're not going to give you the satisfaction. We're doing damage to you. Our opponent is playing a mill deck. Sorry, I wanted to get this turn done before I explained what's going on. They're trying to make me have to burn cards. And so then I'll run out of cards, which is fine. It's a little rough because part of our deck is to play a lot of cards out of our deck, so it's kind of frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, what are you gonna do? Can't go face, so what are you gonna do? Gonna get rid of this? Okay, I would have gotten rid of the 7/5, but you do you. So now we draw more cards than we need. We now have, we can play this and give ourselves a taunt. We can play this, which is a 4-drop at least, and then we can go face, do a lot of damage. We do have a lot of, one nice thing is we've got a ton of armor, and they probably weren't expecting that, so that's good for us. And we can, you know, eventually play this. We probably don't want to play the other smoke screen. We probably want to just play good-sized minions to mess up their good times. Okay. That's always so loud. Okay. It's gonna be a little tough for them to clear the board. Because this, when both these dies, we get a 2/2 that's also going to be... There's a chance this 2/2 will be Trickster. But any other card that this 2/2 is... Yeah, you can see it, yeah. And if they got to get through this 1/1 or leave the 1/1 alone, that's going to make a big minion, yeah. So this is that scam deck. This is a scam deck. When it works and our opponent can't deal with it, you win. And it's pretty great. The fact that we had our win condition and our backup win condition back to back does not happen that often. Often, I've got a Trickster and I've got no smoke screen. Or I've got both smoke screens in my hand, but no Trickster. So I have to wait till turn 8, but then my hand's full because I haven't had any cards. And I've optimized this deck as best I can by putting in a few death rattles that like benefit me, but are also lower cost. But those sometimes don't get drawn. Hey, Lashbrook, welcome. I'm playing Hearthstone because, folks, if you didn't hear, the original plan was to play WWE 2K24 and finally look at the DLC that came out last month. Unfortunately, today was the big WWE 2K24 update patch day, and the patch took so long to download, it hadn't finished downloading, and it was still going to have to patch itself and then update and then patch itself, and then I would have to then open the game and then update the save files. And so the patch, here's the thing, Lord Lashbrook, you re-download the whole game with every patch. And so the patch just makes the game file bigger and you just re-download the whole thing. And also, you know how there's DLC that I was talking about? That's just the game. You basically get the DLC and when you get the special edition, I thought you were on PC, not PS4. Yeah, no, unfortunately. It's just 2K. It's just how the 2K games work. All right, so turn 3. We can coin Trickster and then play Smokescreen. And our opponent is going to be doing a lot of damage to themselves so that eventually they can do a lot of damage to us. But we're going to not care about that because we're also going to do a lot of damage to them. But yeah, 2K24 just takes forever to download. And it's a complete fucking nightmare. And it was not ready. I called it at like 8 o'clock because I wasn't going to sit there and watch it not finish patching. So we'll do it next week. It's a frustrating thing because it was fine yesterday. And if I had just recorded matches yesterday, like I used to do, but stopped because it's more fun to be more interactive and take feedback during the streams. But if I just done that yesterday, we would have been fine. I would just had a bunch of video files to do. Okay, so coin, Trickster, Smokescreen. Not good, not good. Fine, but not great. Okay. Not great. So this was bad. We drew 2 cards that don't help us at all. We also drew a card that now, if 3 more cards die, or sorry, 2 more cards die, we just win, but that's hard to do. And we got nothing on the board to show for it. And we're going to mill a card, which is fine. So that was bad. That's what we call in the business bad. We could also mill one of the cards that is in our deck that if they die, we win, but burning them doesn't help us for that. So, okay, that's fine to die. This stalls a little bit, does some damage to them. But yeah, that was really bad. So again, this deck, I did what it's supposed to do as early as possible, and we still lost. Or we still most likely lost because it didn't do anything. So, you know, bad. Yeah, this Death Rattle, shuffle the other 3 horsemen in your deck. If you had all 4 horsemen die in the game, you destroy the enemy hero. We got 2 more. If 2 more die, we win. We're not going to be able to pull that off. Our opponent, once they play that 5-cost minion, any damage they're supposed to take, we suddenly take. So, and we only have 18 health. So, like, yeah, we're not winning this. We're just gonna. We'll just do this. At least that happened. And they did some damage there. But yeah. One of our win condition things. We knew that was going to happen. I played that knowing that. So now I would need to play this and have some other ones die. That's fine. We're not winning this game. Our opponent most likely has enough damage to do themselves that then we will take the damage of. So yeah. Yep. That's fine. This, we've already had this die, but we'll just put it there. We're going to lose. It's fine. We'll let them do the thing their deck is supposed to do. They'll most likely discard cards that do damage to their face. Nope, they did the one where they draw more. I mean, I don't think we're winning this, but our opponent isn't cheesing us. Yeah, they don't have it. If we had drawn better, if we had had better luck, we could have maybe done this. If we didn't have... Yeah. So now they're going to take fatigue damage when they draw, but we'll take fatigue damage because we take the damage they're supposed to take. I don't think anything we can draw. There's maybe one thing we can draw that will help us, but most likely not. Yeah, that's not going to help us. So yeah, our opponent has lethal on board. We have no recompense. We have no reason to. Yeah, we got no plans to play there. So again, I did what the deck is supposed to do immediately, as soon as possible, but the draws were very bad. We drew stuff that weren't death rattles, and the death rattles we drew didn't help us. So we'll try again. And that's not even to take consideration. What if we can't get the 2 cards we need? Oops. Pardon me. All right, this would be helpful, but we're full mulligan because we need our combo. If we top deck or we have occultist, that's always good. The same thing with dang blasted elemental. That's fine to play because it's a taunt. You can slow them down and do some damage after that. Let's see what Golden Glock will do. Golden Glock is playing the same fucking deck. Maybe a variation of it, but probably the same deck. And that's fine because they can. It's wild. You can just do whatever you want to do. And what they want to do is do a bunch of damage and then say hi while they're doing a bunch of damage. We'll help them with some damage. Next turn, we can coin Dang Blasted Elemental, which at least gives us something. Oh, they're this one where they're going to... Yeah. Well, we'll do this. We'll do this. Do that. So again, this is now this deck where we're not drawing Trickster or Smokescreen or Door of Shadows or even having Anka. Opponent is taking some damage, but this card is giving them mana crystals back as they take damage. Oh. Hell yeah. Thank you, Saribot. Saw some spam and got rid of a person. Hell yeah. Thank you, Saribot. This thing didn't even fucking die, which is the bummer. Jesus. Jesus, our opponent is having a really good fucking game. They're having a really fun game of Hearthstone. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I just don't want to play against, I don't want to play against that person. Golden Glock can enjoy their win. They got to win. They didn't even have to fully play their deck. All right, we're gonna switch over to This Is Big Shaman. This is Big Shaman. If you do not know why, well, it's a Shaman deck, and the cards are big. But if you do not know why I've called this deck This Is Big Shaman, it is a reference to This Is White Dragon. So that's there's your wrestling reference of the stream. What's it? Raku? It's not Raku. Rika Tatsumi. I don't know why I couldn't think of Rika's name. Rika Tatsumi, her nickname is not White Dragon. Don't get that twisted. She does not have the nickname White Dragon. Her nickname is This Is White Dragon. That's the nickname. Capital THIS is White Dragon. Rika Tatsumi she's not the White Dragon. This Is White Dragon. So when I named this deck, This Is Big Shaman, it was in reference to that. Are there any dragons in this deck? No. Okay, so what does this deck do? It has lots of big minions like this big friend. And it's got cards like Muck Morpher that become copies of big minions. And then it's got ways to pull big minions. But we don't want to pull this minion. But we have this card to make this minion cost less. So as Ntio is doing a bunch of stuff and having a good time over there with Rogue, which I enjoy. Getting their weapon, getting all ready. Moving cards around, trying to find the cards they need. We'll take this opportunity to make Muck Morpher cost less. When we play our Gavel next turn, Muck Morpher will cost 3, and we can play it next turn. And that means turn 4, we play Ancestor's Call and pull in Neptulon or Glug or one of the other minions, as long as it's hopefully not the other Muck Morpher. That would be a bummer. If we pull the other Muck Morpher, there's a chance that that Muck Morpher will cost 4 and we'll have no cards to play and we'll have to just hero power. I have certainly done that before. We could even play Fairy Tale Forest, which would pull in the Beached Whale into our hand. And that will cost 6 instead of 7. That's not bad. But hopefully our opponent is going to play cards because I don't... Look, I'll take a win. I'll take a disconnect win. I don't want a disconnect win. They're playing Kingsbane. They're going to buff the hell out of this card or this weapon. And then when this weapon dies, it goes back into their hand. And they're going to draw the weapon again. And then they're going to have and keep all the enchantments. You usually don't keep enchantments when something dies. But they're going to do that. So we are kind of in a race because their weapon is going to do cool, weird shit. They did play one card that draws it already. All right. So now this is a 4/4 taunt. When you kill it, it does 3 damage to a random enemy, which heals you. And then it has Reborn, where it'll come back to life as a 3/1. instead of a 3/8, but in case it's a 4/4. So yeah, that was a great card to pull out of our deck by our friend Blightblood Berserker. Blightblood pulled a cool card. Muck Morpher will not pull Muck Morpher, which rules, but it will pull any other card from our deck, and almost every card from our deck. That would be great. Walking Mountain, because it wouldn't have win for you. Okay, silent. If you want to silence it and make it a 3/8, look, I'll say this, friends. If our opponent is using Smothering Starfish and the silence effect on one of our least impactful cards, hell yeah. Because I don't want anything else here to be silenced. All right. And now, do you have a minion? They did not have another minion in their hand. So, we can just go to their face. See, I would hate for this to be silenced. When my other minions die, whatever health and attack they had goes to the 3/5. It's pretty great. We have no follow-up right now, other than playing our hero power, so not the best thing in the world. Our opponent is using a lot of draw cards that you would normally use after your weapon is already in your deck, which is great for us. Because they can get through right now 2 of these. Okay, they didn't even do it. They don't want to put this back in their deck until they've enchanted it even more. So we're going to do this. We're going to buff this up to a 7/9. Do a bunch of damage. We're just going to plus hero power. This card deals 10 damage among all minions, which is lifesteal, but it can be our minions too. We don't really want to do that. We don't need to do that. This is just, our opponent has a ton of shit on their board, and we got to do something. We don't need to worry about that. We don't have a turn 6. Hopefully we top deck something that would be good. Our opponent now has some lifesteal, so when it kills that, they can get some health back, but they also have to kill the other things on the board. They've silenced it. They're going to turn that into a 3/5 and do damage to it. I did not think they had all of this silence. It makes sense that they do. It also makes sense that by having a bunch of these kind of cards in their deck, they're limiting their draw. So that's great for us. Even though it's been bad because they've had answers, they haven't had enough answers. This does not work on face. It only works on minions, so no point in playing that. Next turn, we can play this, which they're going to hate seeing, a 3/8 that does damage and also has Reborn. They're going to have to silence it. I don't know if they have any more silence available to them. But they can kill this, which is a bummer. It looks like they've got... Make that even stronger. So, but this is going to heal us. It's going to do damage to them. They probably have more shiny finders. I don't know if they're going to have them there. And then next turn, we'll have a 6/6 that will then put minions on our board. And this Thunderbringer is going to put on some real good minions for our board because it's going to pull... The pool is very good. Okay, they silenced it. They had another silence. That's not great. But also, they don't have a lot of health left. Are they... What are you doing? Are you throwing? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Well, I can't necessarily... Look. They have other silence. If they silence this, we still have way more health than them. Even though this weapon does 9 damage, it can certainly do more. I don't think this weapon could do 21 damage. I don't, I have to hope they don't have more silence. They're searching. They're trying to find their other silence. It would be a bummer if this also got silenced, but then we can play this and have a 4/10 with the taunt behind it. So we do have a backup. Are they just gonna... Okay, they get lifesteal. So they're gonna take 6 damage. Oh, they're gonna throw it. Well, That's great. You just saved yourself health. But now I've got 2 other taunts in your way. I got a 7/7 with a 7/7 taunt behind it. A 6/12 that does damage to other minions. Opponent's minions. So. Okay. Yeah, boomerang. They've now healed up twice, which is cool. Good for them. And now they're out of cards. Now they only cards they have the cards that they have in their hand, and they have that. And I'm going to tell you right now, friends, it's going to be pretty tough for them, especially when I do this, which pulls in. Hey, guess what this does? It destroys enemy secrets. We don't have any secrets. That's a tech card against opponent, like, you know, which is not us. We're not a class that has secrets. Well, yeah, because we're a shaman, so. All right, and then you just take a bunch of damage. Now you draw your weapon. You draw your weapon again for no reason because you know you just lost. Because you cannot do... Yeah, you cannot do 11 damage. You can't get through all this damage. Hey, we won! We won, and the deck did what it was supposed to do. And our opponent... Luckily, our opponent played a lot of silence cards instead of buffing their weapon cards. So they put in some tech cards in there, and that was their downfall. Because they had cards in their deck that silenced, but I wasn't going to run out of taunts. I wasn't going to run out of minions that can heal me. The deck has plenty of it. We had plenty more in the tank. All right. So we've got Muck Morpher. We're going to keep Muck Morpher. I hopefully will draw Gavel to make that cheaper, but we're going to keep it because we don't have Ancestor's Call in our hand. That is going to draw another, either one of our other Muck Morphers, or it's going to draw the Beached Whale. And either is fine. I'll take either. Because if we get the Muck Morpher, then we can play a Muck Morpher on turn 4. If we get Beached Whale, that's a 6-drop. That's something to do after Muck Morpher. Does it suck that our first big offensive play is going to be turn 5? Yes. But theoretically, that 4/4 is going to really disrupt the game. Again, there's a taunt that we don't... Or, sorry, there's not a taunt. There's the Rush minion... Walking Mountain, don't really want a 4/4 of a Walking Mountain. Any other card in my deck, perfect, great, love it. It's literally one card I don't want. And really, Beached Whale is in there just because it's a new card, and I wanted to have, like, you know, something new in this deck. It's the only new card in the deck, but it is something new. There, speaking of which, there's Beached Whale. So that means on turn 3... we will pull either a Muck Morpher or a Beached Whale. And that's fine. I do like how Beached Whale looks. Also, I have them in golden, which is just fun. They're helping. I like that they're helping. Okay, so our opponent has... they have a scam deck of their own. They can do a lot of nonsense with this. They're going to get a weapon that just has immune, and... they're playing cards from outside of their class, which could do some really wild things. I'm not saying it's going to. I say it can. Okay, an Epsilon. That's good. I mean, I wouldn't mind Muck Morpher becoming an Epsilon. All right, what do we get? We got Beached Whale. Okay. So that means next turn, we don't have anything to play. We have a turn 5, but we don't have a turn 4 right now. Because also, if we get Answers to Call, we probably don't want to do it because there's a chance we'll get Muck Morpher, but... that's a 1 in 6, so that's pretty good odds. So if we do get Answers to Call, we'll probably play that. If we get Prescience, we'll probably play that. If we get Gavel, we can play that. If we get the other Fairy Tale Forest, we could play that. We do have to wait another turn. We can't just go because there is a, unfortunately. And there's a lot in our deck that we can't do anything in. So our turn 4 being a dead turn is probable. Again, there are 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 cards that would be good to pull, or 6 cards. Yes, 5 cards. 5 cards that would be good to pull. And that leaves the rest of our 23 cards not great. Now, our opponent, being fairly slow, is not great for us because I'm streaming right now. And I would like things to happen on the stream. Okay, yeah, they didn't get anything going. And we didn't draw anything good. They could have been disconnected, which is possible. They might be disconnected. They probably have cards they would like to play. They're a rogue deck. They've got cheap cards. Okay, they did play something. All right, great. Good on you. Yeah, this in Wild, this is pretty good because now you can play cards from other classes fairly easily without having to make them exist. They could just be in your deck. All right, they're back at least. Okay, so we want to play this, and we would like this to become just about anything. It's Walking Mountain. We didn't want it to be Walking Mountain. It's Walking Mountain. We'll play this to draw the other Muck Morpher. We can play the Muck Morpher next turn. So this has a Mega Wind Fury, which means that it can attack 4 times, and it'll heal every time. But it's only got 4 health. So again, of all the cards Muck Morpher could be, this is the least good. Now our opponent is getting some cards they can play. We can kill this next turn. Possibly, yeah, we can kill both these things next turn. That's pretty good. And do some health. I don't know what that's going to be. I don't love that. I don't know what it's going to be. All right, so let's do that first. Okay, what is it going to be? All right, yeah, I don't want you to have this minion. I don't mind if you have that one. And then we'll go and kill you a bunch. And then, do I want a 4/10 with taunt? No, I want to play Muck Morpher. What's Muck Morpher going to be? Muck Morpher is now a 4/4 with taunt and a death rattle, do damage. That sounds great. And you know what we're gonna do? Which this leans into like more than a scam territory. You know, this is a 4/1. It's not a 4/1 anymore. It died, and it got resurrected with full health. Now it's a 4/16. So now it's back to the card that it's supposed to be. That's still in my deck. That's also this card, the Walking Mountain. Yeah, reincarnate on Muck Morpher turns it back to the thing it's supposed to be. It doesn't turn it back into Muck Morpher. That's not by design. That is not a glitch, because Muck Morpher becomes the card. It transforms into a 4/4 copy, and you just turn it back to the original copy. So now our opponent has a weapon that they're immune when they use it, so they don't take damage, which is fine. They're healing up, but we're gonna hit them with 16 damage. We could do less if we want to kill that. I don't know if we need to kill that, but we might want to kill that. All right, you dredging. So next turn we can play. We're probably gonna play this, and we're probably gonna be okay with them getting armor. Well, you know what? Honestly, I don't want them to draw. So do I do this? Not. Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll do this. This is... we're going to get our 16 damage. We're going to play a 4/10, because it's going to take 10 damage. It's going to be a 4/10. And then we could kill it to make it a 4/20. But then we're just going to kill that again so we can kill that. So they don't get armor and they don't draw any cards. Now we have a 4/10 standing in their way. And we'll have another 4/10 if we need that. We have a 3/8 that does damage, heals us, and then is a 3/1. So we have options for next turn. Pardon me. We have a weapon. We can make this cheaper by using the weapon if we want to do that. Okay. Oh man, they're gonna kill. Oh, they're killing the beached whale, everybody. And then they conceded because I'm also still going to do I'm still doing 16 damage to them next turn. Ah, I killed the beached whale. Rude. This is Big Shaman doing okay. It's the best deck I have. And because it's doing so good, we need to switch up to another deck. Oh, we're going to go to my collection. Sorry. I'm going to show you... this is the 30 card version of a deck that I have played numerous times on the stream before called Conjurer's Calling. Conjurer's Calling is a twin spell. You destroy a minion. It means you play it once and you keep another copy in your deck as twins. You destroy a minion, you get 2 minions of the same cost to replace it. We have cards in our deck that, this one, Big Hand, doesn't cost as much. This one, Big Hand, doesn't cost as much. This one, bunch of cards die, doesn't cost as much. And so we're going to play the cards that don't cost that much, that we cheated out, so that early on we can make more of them. If we have room, we can have Khadgar, which doubles it, which is great. We have cards that make our hand heavy. We have a card that pulls one of these 6 cards out of our deck into our hand. We have cards, and most importantly, I think, we have cards that pull our spell, because we only have 2 copies. We also have a card that, when we draw a spell, we get 2 copies of it. So we get more times on that. This is not a good deck, but it's fairly well balanced. I think I added 1 new card to the deck. Yes, there's 1 new card that wasn't in this deck previously. So this deck technically has new cards in it. It has new card in it. The new card is like a 3 cost that generates a card in your hand that then generates minions on your board. It's nice to have minions on your board. Yeah. Oh, and we got it. We'll play it on turn 3. We got Zormu. It's Gorgonzola, but a dragon. So we don't want any of this. We're going to keep this. We want our spell. We want one of our big minions. We want a card that pulls a spell. We want a card that pulls a big minion. We got both. We're looking great. Now we just need cards that make our hand bigger, which we don't have right now. And we got a big friend. So now we need cards in our hand. This is going to let us agree about the card on the top of our deck, or choose a different card. We don't need Conjurer's Calling. We need to make our hand bigger. This will, on the next turn, make our hand bigger. So we'll just do 1 shot to your face. So next turn, we can't go, but eventually we can. We can play this, which is going to add more cards to our hand. Eventually we could play this because it's a new card, so it'll be nice to do that. And our opponent is also helping us. Our opponent certainly doesn't think that they're helping us, but they are, because now we're drawing 2 cards. So our hand is going to get so much bigger. Let's play this just to get a card moving in our hand here. So next turn, we can go. We can go next turn. We have enough mana to go next turn. We didn't have enough mana this turn. Even though we had enough cards, it is a whole balance. But we should have enough to play this. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, we'll have more than enough love. We'll have some mana left over. We might want to just play the coin to waste. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll keep Creeper in there. Because we also draw that. Okay, great. So, now, this does that. This does this. And then we have enough mana to just do this and to make you a 10-10 and an 8-8. So our 5-4 is now a 10-10 and an 8-8. And then, because we don't want to overdraw, we are just going to play this, and we're going to waste a card. Because we're still going to draw 2 cards next turn. So now they have to clear a bunch of things. Okay, they play due process. They're just Gonna burn some cards. Okay, we are gonna burn some cards next turn, but that's okay. There's one card I don't want to burn. That card I don't mind burning. That card I don't mind burning. That card I don't mind burning. We are playing this because there is one card that I don't want to lose, which is this, because I want to. We're not doing anything else here. We'll play this card to build a board. This is nice because that's going to give us a 4/1 once it dies. This is a fine 3-drop. This is a better than average 3-drop. We don't have cards from another class in this deck. Oh, we can discover them. We can discover. Actually, these two cards pair well together if our hand wasn't so full and if we weren't going to burn a bunch of cards, and it's dead anyway, and that's fine. Now, this costs nothing. Yeah. I knew our opponent was going to do Poison Seeds. What really sucks about doing Poison Seeds is we don't have any cards to play. Oh, and they played Naturalize on that. So that means we're just going to draw a bunch of cards. We now have room for a card. We can now play a card, which is great. But we can play this, and we can buff this with one of our Conjurer's Cog. We're just going to burn. Like, right now, we're in a race. We're not a race against them, because fuck them. We're in a race with ourselves, because we are going to run out of cards in our deck. Which is why I drew this, because I really need this. It doesn't matter at this point. We'll draw a different card. You know, yeah, that was going to burn. That's going to burn. That's going to burn. That's going to... All this shit's going to burn, and that's fine. So we're going to play Mountain Giant. We are going to... We can't even kill... Because I can't even... I can do that. I can do that to make room. And then we don't have the mana to play it. That's the problem. But I can now play this as well. Because our opponent probably has another Demon Seeds. So I didn't even have enough mana to do both these things. I should have just done this, the 7-drop, and done that. I didn't. Because, like, if I kill this, I don't have room for 2 minions, so... Okay. Well, yeah, all right. They're just going to kill all my big stuff. So now I'm going to have to play a card that doesn't... Like, that draws a card. Yeah, we're going to lose this. We're probably going to lose this. Now we have to get through a 4/10. I don't know how we're going to get through a 4/10. Yeah, we're in trouble here. We're drawing so many fucking cards. All right, so this can't draw anything. And then this... That's kind of not bad. We don't have any cards in our deck. We don't have any spells in our deck. This is going to just keep healing, and I don't know how to get around it. We've lost here, but we'll hang out for a second. There's a chance.
My hand is too full.
Really what it was is we had a good advantage, and our opponent did have Poison Seeds. We were hoping they weren't going to get Poison Seeds. They got Poison Seeds. I don't have a good answer to get past this, because they're just going to keep healing out of range. These are both pretty good 4-drops. They're getting armor now. Yeah. Part of it was on me. I shouldn't have done what I did, but whatever. Can't do anything right now. Yeah, we're just going to burn through our deck and kill a bunch of stuff. Okay. We'll let you heal up a little bit here, because there's nothing I can really do. We'll do this and this, and just make a bunch of people and do a bunch of things. We don't have that, we don't have that, we don't have that. And then we'll do this, and we'll do that. And we just build a bunch of stuff, and we're going to take a lot of damage next turn. We're going to take so so much goddamn damage because we're going to be drawing so many cards and we're going to take so much fatigue damage. Yeah. I do not expect those to win here. And they had poison seeds. Because why wouldn't they have the other poison seeds? Why wouldn't they have it? Why wouldn't they have... Why would they burn it or have it still in their deck? They've got 8 cards in there. Of course they pulled the other one. Yeah. We're going to take so much fatigue. Taking so much fatigue. We kill that. We're wasting their time. I know I'm wasting your time, friends, and I apologize for wasting your time. But also, we're wasting their time. We're going to play this. We're going to get something here. We're going to destroy all minions and discard 2 cards. That doesn't help us at all. We're not going to do that. We're going to get rid of that. And then we'll do this. And then we'll concede. Completely waste their time. Out of spite. There was a world where we won that game, but I think I would have had to play a little differently, and their luck would have had to been worse. Let's try it again. Let's try calling one more time, see if we can redeem ourselves. And then maybe we'll play one other deck in as well. See how we do. And then hopefully WWB 2K24 will be fucking patched, and here's my real fear, that they'll patch it again next week. If they do, then I don't know. I don't know what I'll do if they patch it next week. We got the calling. We need to find a heavy card, even though that would be filling out our hand. We did get a heavy card. We now need cards that make our hand bigger, which we have one of. Next turn, we can play this, which will draw our other spell. It's one of our spell draws. We already have one of the spells, but we can play it just to do something. Or we can keep it in our hands. We might just keep it in our hands depending on what they do, our opponent does. We might just use our hero power and get a damage in. Depends on what they play. But we already have calling, so we kind of do want to keep our hand full. Because if we're going this route, Mountain Giant, it's going to take a while before we have enough mana to do both. And our opponent is not doing anything, which is, again, for wins, great. For content, not great. And okay. Let's just take the damage, because we can always play this card and draw our other spell. If this becomes a dead card, that's fine. But we can play this and get 2 things in our hand. But we also might just win this because our opponent is not around, which again, I don't mind winning. But I prefer to win other ways. Play this. Make our hand bigger. We're just going through the motions at this point, because our opponent is AFK at this point, I guess. Deal 2 damage, shuffle. Oh. Well, we'll do this, do that. Now when we draw, we'll get 2 copies of it. We'll have 3 copies of Conjurer's Calling. It's pretty good. Yeah. Oh, our opponent's here. They're here. And they got in some stuff. Cool. That's fun. I mean, they have a bullshit deck that I fucking hate, but they're here. And they somehow managed to do all of that in one turn. But sure. Great. Happy to have you here. We don't have enough mana to do this yet. We can play this and draw and then kill that. And we'll get 2 copies. And I think we're going to do that right now. Give ourselves 2 more copies of Conjuring. Or another copy of Conjuring. Kill that thing. Boom. There we go. So next turn, we will have enough mana. This will cost 3 to play, and then we will have 3 mana from calling, and then the follow-up turn, we can put out Khadgars in there as well. Our opponent, we are now in a bit of a race because our opponent is back and is going to be doing a lot of damage. Because they were away for a while, we have more of a chance of beating them than we would have previously, because they would have been doing all this damage sooner. So now we're in a bit of a race. But now we have this, and we'll play this one as if we just happened to top deck it. Congratulations for us. And then we'll play this. And now we have 2 8/8s. There aren't that many 12-cost minions. There's a 7/8 with taunt and an 8/8. So, okay. But we're gonna they're gonna kill one of these, but they can't kill both of them. So we'll do. Ooh, that's nice too. Well, let's do this, and then we'll play Khadgar, and then we'll get 4 8/8s, but these are different 8/8s. And then we'll kill this, which puts Ignite in our deck, because now we can draw and Ignite if we need to. We do have this. If we make our hand large enough, it's fine. But I just wanted to do the Khadgar 8/8 thing. Are they going to kill our Khadgar? Possibly. But then we still have a bunch of 8/8s on the board. So it's like, I don't know. Can you do 22 damage for 7 mana? You can get pretty close to doing 22 damage. Like, it's still possible we lose here. They may be able to get enough damage with the cards they have in their hand. I don't think they have 22 damage. He says, because they're going so slow. Do you have 12 damage? Because you play a spell, you get your hero power back, your hero power costs nothing. You do have that. If that goes face, that's not enough. Okay, now I'm down to 9. What's your last card? Does it cost 2 or less mana? But then it still only gives you at most... Yeah, okay. You drew cards. Now you drew more cards. Hey, we got an achievement, which you can't really see. Ladder Grinder Tier 8. Because I have... just for winning games on the ladder. And we won! That was a weird game that we just won. It was very strange. What do I want to do? Do I want to do any other? We'll do one more of the OTK because they're fast. If I win, either I win fast or I lose fast. And we'll do this one. We'll play that. And again, my apologies. I was going to do WTK24 tonight, but patching and updates, I just did not. It should not have taken all day. It's really frustrating that it took all day. And it didn't even finish. So I have no control over that, unfortunately. All right, none of these cards are the cards we want, so we're going to full mulligan here. We are looking for Order in the Court. We would not mind having Call to Arms or Nazdormu or Uther, but we'll get all those if we have Order in the Court. We don't have any of those. These cards are tradable, which means for 1 mana, we can send them back into our deck and get something else. None of these are great, but that means next turn we can still play the other tradable card we have in our hand. This is one of the minions from our deck, which is fine, because we can also play those. So we're going to play this, and either we get a card we want. None of these are cards that we want. You need a gavel if you rally, if you really want Order in the Court. Yes, I do need to have a gavel to summon Order in the Court, which unfortunately we cannot summon. Once again, our opponent isn't really doing much. They're like getting their combo together, which is fine. Because that helps us, because we can probably beat whatever combo they have. But we are running into the problem that we're not getting the cards we need, which is, not good. All right, there's Nazdormu, which means that if we get Uther, We can kind of just go. We don't really have everything we need. All we can do is make their enemy minions cost more next turn to delay. We don't have any tradables. We don't have a Service Bell. Service Bell is a nice backup because it can find a class card in your deck and pull both copies. This is not tradable. Again, we could just get... Here's the problem. We can't really give them 10 mana unless we have Uther or Called Arms. Now, since we have Sing-Along Buddy in our hand, if we get, at some point, Garrison Commander, we don't need Called Arms because we can just play those out of our hands because that costs 4 mana and it's the same thing. But we can't do it without Uther. We really need Uther. If we top deck Uther, we can just play Nozdormu and pray that we top deck. And eventually, we won't even need Nozdormu. They're saying well played, which means they might have their whole combo here. And the Coliseum is not a card we want. Yeah. Well played to you, I guess. I don't fucking know. If they got their combo, they got their combo. Again, this deck really needs like one card. It really, if you get Order in the Court, you can win. Okay, yeah, they probably have everything they need to do their nonsense combo. Oh, no, they're still drawing. They are still drawing. They might not have everything they need. Okay. 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 One of the problems with this is this needs to die and our 8/8 needs to die. So I don't know how we fix that because they keep making this thing bigger. Oh, and they're okay. And then they're gonna. Do you have the cards you need to do that? Do you have enough cards to topsy-turvy this? And then once you topsy-turvy it, okay, and then you're silent. What are we doing here? And then you're gonna give it back to me? Okay. Our opponent's just doing shit, I guess. I guess they're just doing shit. We can kill our own minion if we want to do that. I really fucking hate this. So first, let's get rid of some of your shit. We're just going to get rid of some of it. And then, honestly, I don't even want this. And then, you don't get to do much damage to me. There we go. Sure. I don't want that card. They keep buffing it, and I don't want them to. Okay. Are you going to go for it this time? Now do you have everything you need to pull off this combo that you're doing? Okay. Okay. I'd really like to just draw Uther, honestly. Honestly, if I could just draw Uther, that could kill some stuff. Okay. You don't have another dragon. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Now you did 14 to me. Cool. Hooray. A lot of goddamn work. We have so many tradable cards. We have Ring of Courage we could have pulled. City Tax. We did use one tradable. I will admit we do use a tradable. We're just gonna stall. We're just gonna stall for them. See how they like that. Service Bell. There are cards that we could be drawing here. The other Garrison Commander. The Uther. We're not gonna win this. No. Getting screwed by draws. Yes. Oh, for sure. There is some semblance, certainly, to Magic the Gathering. We don't really, at this point, Nozdormu is just an 8/8 we can put on the board, so we're going to put an 8/8 on the board. Here, have 10 mana. Enjoy your 10 mana. I can't die. I'm going to die the turn after that. It's fine. Enjoy your 10 mana. No. Yeah, take 3 damage. We finally did damage to our opponent. We can't win this game, but we're sticking with it because our opponent was just making moves for no reason. So we stuck around in the game. Let's do this because it's just funny to do. Let's show them what the combo is supposed to be. This is what the combo is supposed to be, except we have Uther and then we just win. But we don't have Uther because we couldn't draw Uther or Service Bell or Order in the Court. All right, let's run this deck back one more time. We'll run it back one more time. Again, because even if we lose, that game was longer than it should have been for a 3-turn OTK that I couldn't pull off. I mean, the real nuts is you have Order in the Court, and then you have either one of the 3 cards you need. So you just instantly are ready. Okay, we got Call to Arms. We got Sphere, which we've used before, which gives us some options here. We could keep Sphere. Because that's going to help us draw stuff. We'll send that back. We don't really need Called Arms. We would keep it, but we... Okay, we got Cold Feet. That's not really going to help us too much against a Rogue. It might delay things. We're going to definitely play Sphere. And then we're going to hope that we find Order in the Court. That's really what we need. Garrison Commander, sure. But yeah, we want Order in the Court, and this will give us another shot at it every turn. And then we can also play Cold Feet to mess with it. Our opponent has weapons. Hey, we got Order in the Court. We're doing it. We're going to play it right now. We're going to play Order in the Court. Cold Feet can't help you against a Rogue because you just can't resist their boy's charms. Indeed. Our opponent isn't playing the weapon they drew, which means it's probably a 4-cost weapon. This is probably the play other cards and buff up the card that heals you. There's Uther. So next turn, we will either get a Nozdormu that we can just play, or we'll get Call to Arms, which we can't play. So it's fine. We're good either way. We got 3 costs. Let's just make their minions cost more. They don't really have a lot of minions. We can top deck something and then go, which will be nice. If we don't get the card we need, that's going to be a little troublesome because we are taking damage. We're taking a pretty good amount of damage here. We really didn't need this weapon because we did just have the card we needed on turn 2. I can't remember if this gives us the next card in line. It does. Great. I couldn't remember that. So I was wrong. And Sphere of Sapiens is exactly what we wanted, and I'm a fool for thinking it wasn't. Now, does that send Call to Arms to the bottom? It might. Will that fuck us up? It might. Should I have waited another turn? No, because my opponent is still going to do stuff. So there is a chance that we do have Garrison Commander. So now we need either of the sing-along buddies or Call to Arms. And we also need this 8/8 to die. And I don't know if they're going to last. Okay, they're going to freeze it. So our 8/8 isn't dying yet. If we want to do Call to Arms, this 8/8 needs to die. Okay, it's giving us Service Bell. We're going to take Service Bell for next turn. Because they didn't freeze our face. Let's lose a little armor, gain a little health. Okay, so we could top deck Call to Arms and win. We could top deck Sing-Along Buddy and win. We can play Service Bell and maybe get Call to Arms and then maybe win the next turn. We can't actually win with Call to Arms because this 8/8 needs to die, and they won't kill this 8/8. But if we top deck Sing-Along Buddy, we win. So we actually don't win with that. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Okay. They got a bunch of shit here. Even though this deck is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, there's no guarantee we're going to win because our opponent is just playing a lot of stuff. Now we're going to enter the Coliseum, which will remove most of this bullshit. But let's see what we get first. Let's see what we get with Service Bell. We don't get anything with Service Bell. It costs too much money. Let's see what we get with Service Bell. We'll get the other end of the Coliseum. We'll play the other end of the Coliseum. We don't want this to be the 3-1. We want to get rid of that. We are going to do damage to your face and to just give us as much health as possible. Okay. We kind of need this 8-5 to die. And top deck Called Arms. Or top deck Sing Along Buddy, and then we're golden with Sing Along Buddy. Okay. Okay. We need this 8-5 to die because now we can't play. Oh, we're not doing this. We're not pulling this off. Raffle is in Hearthstone. Yeah. Raffi is not in Hearthstone. No. All right, we're immune next turn. Great. Kill some of your minions. We're fine next turn. And also, you don't get to play minions next turn, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you do. I guess we could also play a horseman, but they're just going to kill it. There's no point in playing the horseman because they're just going to kill it. If we top deck Sing Along Buddy or Called Arms, if this dies, are they finally going to kill it? I mean, we're probably just going to top deck Service Bell because it's a 3-drop. Or Timeout. We could get the other Timeout. No, you can't kill me. Great. We got Service Bell. What is Service Bell going to give us? It is going to give us a tradable. Give us a tradable. Here. Okay. It's going to give you both tradables. Give me that. That's not what I wanted. Give me what I want. The other Garrison Commander, which means now our Called Arms doesn't fuck us up, but fine. We're just going to play one of them. They're going to kill it. It doesn't matter. We'll just do that. I needed it. We have a bunch of 2-drops. Or 2-cost minions. Okay. That's actually fine. That's actually awesome. Honestly, that's great. I don't want this in play. I don't love having this in my hand. If I top deck Sing Along Buddy, we can play it and win. What do we got? We got a 2-drop. It is not a 2-drop I want. Push you back in there. What do you got for me? That is not a 2-drop I want. Give me this. Heal me up. Now I have that. That's fine. We'll play these because that makes you think you got to kill them because you do. Now we're going to get our Called Arms, which is going to pull 2 minions I don't want, and we can play 1 minion that I do want. And we should theoretically win next turn. Because it's going to pull Called Arms, which will pull both Sing Along Buddies, and we'll have room for 2, and then we'll play 1 Garrison Commander and Hero Power twice, and that should be enough, because I'm expecting these 2 minions to die. If these 2 minions don't die, then I just play Garrison Commander and Hero Power twice and we win. That's the other win condition. I mean, there's a possibility they can do 24 damage to me. I guess I should have taken that in consideration. No, okay, they're not doing 24 damage. Yeah, so we win. I mean, there's also a possibility we don't win because of this hero power. Or, sorry, this spell. Or secret, I should say. Is the secret going to fuck us over? No. Is this going to fuck us over? Yes. That fucked us over. Yeah, you did. All right, we lost. They had a secret that kidnapped our thing. We don't have enough mana because when I hit this, I will not have enough mana to do this. I can only do that. I can't do it twice, and so we lose. All of that, everybody. All of that, and we lose. And our opponent decided they needed to say a bunch of shit as well. They needed to emote. All of that, and we lose because our opponent happened to have a secret that did mess us up. That is an anticlimactic way to end the stream, but that is how we are ending tonight's stream. Hearthstone, it'll get you. It'll just get you sometimes. You've got a deck that just wins. You've got the cards you need to just win, and then it gets you. Thank you for hanging out tonight on tonight's stream. What's the point in winning if you can't gloat about winning because of random luck? Indeed. But that's not the end of my stream, but that's not the end of the party. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go hang out with some other people that are doing cool shit out there, and always make sure that they are people that I think are rad, because that's the least I can do. Let's see. How long has this person that I like been streaming? They have been streaming for 2 hours, so they should still be going. My friend Xandra, she who made all of my cool emotes, she has been playing Max Payne. Max Payne was a game that meant a lot to her for many years of her life. So in order to celebrate her her transitioning, the anniversary of her transitioning, she has been playing a game that's important to her. Yeah, thanks for being here. Have a great one. We're going to go hang out with Xandra. Hope y'all can come and hang out with her as well, because she rules. Yeah, never played a Max Payne. Well, you get to hang out, and please honor the fact that Xandra would like you to not mention spoilers for Control or Alan Wake, because she doesn't want those spoilers. Thanks for being here. I'll see everybody on Thursday for Model Kit Building. Back to what I know. Talk to you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.